Welcome to Team Perry's Step Out of Line podcast, featuring co-hosts Perry and Lori Finkelstein. Together, they explore, meet, and share inspirational stories with guests who have made a positive impact in today's world. This podcast resonates with our hope to make this world a better place one step at a time through love, acceptance, and uplifting conversations.
Joann Ferrara, who is the star of Dancing Dreams, which is an organization, a nonprofit that Perry was part of as a dancer when she was younger for a number of years. It is an amazing organization, and I want Joann to tell us a little bit about what she does and how she started it.
I would say I'm not the star of Dancing Dreams. I think the dancers and our teen helpers are the stars. I'm sort of the person who puts it together and squishes it along. Dancing Dreams started, I am a pediatric physical therapist with a private practice. I was in my office one day with a little girl in a tiara and a tutu. And I said to her, "You're like a ballerina." And she just matter-of-factly looked at me and said, "I wish I could be a dancer, but nobody wants me." She has cerebral palsy, and she wanted to be a dancer, and her mom said no dance program would take her. She was fairly involved. And I walked out in the waiting room and I said to her mom, "I'm starting a dance program." So we started in the back room of my office with 5 little girls and 5 teenagers who we call our helpers. And it just, word of mouth grew. We went from 5, very quickly, from 5 to 8 to 12 to 16, quickly outgrew my office and had to rent space elsewhere, at which point I could no longer fund it. So we became a nonprofit so we could write grants and accept donations. And we've continued to grow to where we were last year, which was 139. Now we have boys and girls, 3 locations. We're on Long Island in Plainview, in Bayside, Queens, which is the original location, and also in Manhattan on the Upper East Side at the Museum of the City of New York. So we've definitely expanded not only in the dance classes, but in the scope of what we do. We've become much more of a resource, I feel, for families. The teenage helpers, we've now made that into a structured leadership program where we teach leadership, self-esteem skills. They participate in workshops. The teenagers are amazing. We had 189 last year who are assigned to a dancer. Most of them start when they are freshmen in high school. They stay with us through high school, and many even come back when they're in college on a different type of a volunteer level. And they form incredible connections with their dancers and their dancers' families. And it's just been a joy to watch it grow and change and just meet the needs as they've grown. We do an adaptive ski trip. We do a trip to Yankee Stadium. We do a trip to New York City Ballet. We do a tremendous number of workshops for parents while dancers are in class. That's something that we hired one of our dancers who graduated, who has an MA in social work. And she's our parent education coordinator, as well as our alumni coordinator. And she's done an outstanding job of setting up amazing parent workshops to give parents resources while the dancers are in class and parents are waiting.
I remember when we first found out about you, was in the doctor's office and there was a flyer up. And I remember speaking to the physiatrist. I said, "What is this?" And she said, "Oh, you have to check it out." And when Perry and I met you for the first time and saw the program that you had, and it was smaller because it was years ago, I just remember Perry was so happy that she could finally be a ballerina. And it was her dream come true. And what I also valued was the older girls, the girls her senior who were dancing, just what I as a parent can look at them and see what Perry could accomplish one day and what she could be. And that gave me a huge amount of hope. And I admired them and the parents. And I just remember that gave me as a parent an incredible amount of hope and joy of what Perry could eventually become. And she eventually did come, and I know probably people look at her the same way now.
Right.
So
Role model.
Role model for sure. And Dancing Dreams was a catalyst to everything that Perry's accomplishing now in her life. Never could have happened if she didn't do Dancing Dreams. You had a photographer come and took pictures of the girls.
Rocco is still with us.
Right. The picture was taken, and Columbia Presbyterian loved it, and they made
Hung it on the wall.
People in the hallway saw the poster, approached us, and started running with Team Perry, and our big fundraisers now for Team Perry, High Lifeline. So, and then that person brought in more people, and we've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it all started because of our initial contact and our, being involved with Dancing Dreams. So I don't know if you understand what, I'm sure you do, but it really has impacted our lives. Just unbelievable. So we're talking about stepping out of line. And I can imagine that you feel that you probably have stepped out of line. I know from what I've heard about you, you probably have, because this was a phenomenal, new, inspiring program that nobody had ever done in New York before. So would you say that would be the biggest moment that you had stepped out of line to date?
Without a doubt. It was one of those moments that literally, as you said, stepping out of line. Here I was in my PT office, loving doing pediatric physical therapy. And when I heard those words come out of Veronica's mouth, it just hit me. And I said, without even thinking, there was no play. It was just stepping out of line and saying, I am doing a dance program. Went out in the waiting room, said to her mother, I am doing a dance program. It wasn't this created thing that I was thinking about. And it just was a reaction to what was happening at the time.
And it's not just creating the dance program. I mean, you've actually sewn costumes. You're doing the makeup. You have, now I'm sure you have more help because you have many kids, but just, you were doing everything. Your whole life, 24/7 for months, revolved around the dance and the recital, which is amazing. It really took over your entire life. However, I know it's probably brought so much joy to you and so much gratification that it can be done.
Absolutely. It gives me great joy. As a matter of fact, a few minutes ago, I received an email from Cara. Cara now is living in Washington, D.C., working for a nonprofit as the director of community relations and fundraising. And she emailed me because I had emailed her for her birthday. She emailed me, it's been 10 years since I graduated from Dancing Dreams. And one of the things that we have tried to do is keep and we're making it even bigger now that we have more alumni, because when we started, all our dancers were little, so we really didn't have alumni, but now we have more and more dancers who are graduating and going on to college. So we're trying to keep those alumni involved so that they can be, as you said, role models for the younger dancers, and not only for the dancers, but for the families. And it's also good for the helpers, for the teenagers to see. We have some of the graduated dancers come back to class and to our workshops for the teenagers and speak to them about the impact that Dancing Dreams had on them and what they learned.
Seeing some of the pictures, you have professional dancers come also to the classes to be with the children. How important is it when you have a child like Perry who really, it's very hard to take her places, it's hard to get to the city, it's hard to, do things, that you're able to bring programs into your centers so that the kids can experience what it's like to be a real ballerina and be taught by a real ballerina? How important is that to you to be able to get programs like that?
Oh, it's amazing. We've had a wonderful relationship with New York City Ballet, where their dancers have come. We've had people who choreograph for Alvin Ailey come. We had a national ballroom dance champion come. We had an Olympic fencer come. We've had all sorts of role models and different professional athletes come in and just be there for our dancers and show them, and also for us to show them what there is out there, that it's not always about perfection, or it isn't about perfection. It's about doing the best, your own perfection, doing the best that you can do.
And I'm sure the helpers, because the helpers are a huge part of your program, their career choices in their life must be influenced 100% by the internships and the programs that they participated in with you. Have any of them spoken to you and said, this has changed my life, I'm going to do something in the helping profession now from what they've been through? I'm sure you have many stories like that.
Tremendous number. We've had so many teenagers come through. And again, now that we've been around a while, our teenagers are graduating from college and they're out in the working world. And they all say, even if they're not in the health professions, that the impact and the skills they learned at Dancing Dreams have influenced them and helped them in life.
Where can people find you?
DancingDreams.org, and we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And
Dancing Dreams New York.
Because you list when you're doing the recitals. I know this year it was a little differently because people weren't allowed to be there in person, but the recitals are tremendous. And it's a big fun day, and it's a great thing to take your kids to see and enjoy watching the dancing and listening to the music. And they should follow you on social media as well so they can learn more about your program and donate and participate in it, because it is an incredible thing. And I know you have the support of many doctors in New York and New York City who always tell their patients, you really have to check this out. And it shows the kids that there are no limits. So thank you, Joann, for inspiring parents.
And I just want to say that the show, our year-end performance, the year before when we had it in person, we had 1,300 people.
Wow.
It's free. We do not charge because it's our celebration of achievement. And if anyone wants to come, we would love to have people come and join us. It's very kid-friendly. And as I said, there is no charge, and it's really a celebration. So.
It is. And as the parents who sit in the audience, I remember crying through the whole thing, of course.
But happy tears.
Happy tears. And it was awesome. So thank you so much for spending time with us. And we'll keep following you and keep watching great things that you accomplish. And we're very proud of you to have been a part of your program.